Hey, welcome back. Today I wanted to go over with you how I did this Clueless-inspired photo shoot. I really wanted to do a photo shoot where I could show off some of my favorite ponytails from the brand INH Hair, which I love. And I've always seen some of my favorite self-portrait artists do a photo shoot where they're in the scene multiple times. I thought it was a skill that I would like to learn how to do, and so that's kind of what inspired this shoot. Also, I have been seeing a lot of news lately about the Mean Girls revival, and so it got me thinking about some of my favorite movies from the past, and Clueless is definitely one of them. I like the style, and specifically this scene just really sticks out to me, so I thought it would be fun to challenge myself to create something for this. Plus, all of the clothing I already had on hand, and I live somewhere with a tennis court, so overall it was a pretty easy shoot to do. I didn't have to spend any additional money or anything like that. Okay, so here's how I did it from start to finish. First, a little behind the scenes of the process, I tried on all of the different outfits that I was going to use just to make sure that they looked different enough in the video. And then from there, I decided to come up with a couple of different accessories and how I'm going to do my hair and makeup so that on the tennis court, I would be able to switch out my outfits seamlessly. One thing about this shoot, I did stay on the tennis court for the entirety of the photo shoot. I brought all of the clothing and hair and makeup that I needed and kind of just spread it out on the bench. Luckily, nobody was there to play tennis, which would have been an issue, but I didn't run into that, so I was pretty lucky. I had to bring like a blanket to change underneath, so that was probably the trickiest part. I'm sure you could probably go back and forth. I specifically for this shoot wanted to keep my tripod in the same spot, so actually I did mark the ground with tape for where I was going to stand and where the cameras were going to be, but for the most part, the actual camera that took the photos I kept in one spot for consistency. There's two ways that you could do this. One of them would be keeping the tripod in the exact same spot and then erasing the layers where you're standing so that it looks like one complete picture. But the lighting changed a little bit between these different outfits that I was wearing, so I went the second route, which was using the Photoshop tool of Object Select. And it's pretty advanced now. I literally just had to click myself and then copy and paste myself into the other image and then trace my shadows and do the same thing. So Photoshop made this really easy, and so that's what I would suggest for something like this. I also thought, as a little bonus, I might try to brush up on my video editing skills, and so I decided to do a little skit of the scene from Clueless that I love. I am not an actress. I always thought it would be fun, but I knew that this wasn't going to turn out like an Oscar-worthy performance. Essentially what I did is I screen recorded the scene on YouTube. I hope that's legal, I'm not quite sure, but it worked for me. And then I took that clip and put it into Capcut and made it to be audio only, so I would have the audio portion. While I was actually on the tennis court, what I did is put an earphone in my ear and I listened to the scene as it went through. I memorized the lines already, but essentially every single character I had to go in and do the lines as if other people were there, even though they weren't. So this was the most challenging part of the shoot because every time I came out and I was in a certain outfit, I would have to take a couple photos in the outfit and then do all of my lines. But not only that, I had to do the lines from each different angle that I planned out. So you can see this note docs here on my phone. I basically wrote out the lines of each character and what angle the camera needed to be at that line. Cher and Dee have like 3 or 4 different angles that I had to capture for them, so I had to run through it 4 times for those 2 characters.
We have a new student with us. This is Ty Frazier.
Ty, you don't have time to change, but you could hit a few balls in those clothes.
She could be a farmer in those clothes.
Dee, my mission is clear. Would you look at that girl? She is so adorably clueless. We've got to adopt her.
Cher, she is toe up. Our stock would plummet.
Dee, don't you want to use your popularity for a good cause?
No.
Come here. Yeah, come here. Hang with us.
Oh, thank you.
How you like California?
Man, I'm freaking. I could really use some sort of an herbal refreshment.
Oh, well, we do lunch in 10 minutes. We don't have any tea, but we have Coke and stuff.
No shit, you guys got Coke here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is America.
Ty was a little bit simpler because, one, I did that part in the morning, so my hair is already curly. It was perfect. I had the look. I ran out to the tennis court in the morning, did all of Ty's lines, and that was like a breeze. But then after that, I came back in the afternoon, and that is when I actually filmed the rest of the scenes. It did get easier as the process went through, but it was a lot of coordination on my end, especially because I was doing this solo. Let me tell you a little bit about how I edited this skit in Capcut. It was actually really simple. what I would do is I would first go in and put down all of the parts where the main person was there. So Cher was my main person. I went and put in all of her scenes first, and then to add a second additional person in the scene, you'd click add overlay, and then you put in the video that you want. What I did is I clicked remove background, and so it just removed the complete background and only put the person in there, which was perfect for getting 2 people's scenes. But there is a second way where you can do it, where you can actually add like a horizontal or vertical cutoff in the screen. This only works if your tripod is in the exact same spot, because the background won't get messed up. So for ease, I just did the background remover, and it was simple enough. Ty's parts weren't as clean, but I did shoot those in the morning in a different location because at the time I didn't know which direction the sun would be facing. So that's the one thing that kind of stopped it from being perfect, but I think next time I definitely would get it down. The other challenging thing about this shoot that doesn't normally happen for me is I had limited card space and limited time before the lighting was going out. So when I took photos for each of the girls, I actually only took a handful, maybe like 15 to 20 photos per outfit. And for me, I like to have like 300 different options to go through. But I will say that taught me a big lesson this week, and that's you don't really have to have too many photos to come up with something good. I feel like a lot of the time I try to be a perfectionist and make sure that the images that I'm getting are perfect, but I did end up with a handful of good images for each girl, and I edited them into one photo, and that was great. I also took solo images of each girl too, just so I would have that to compare. Also, I just want to stress the importance of really finding a color grading that you like. The original photos I took were pretty dull in comparison to what the photos looked like after I did edits. Here's an example. You can play around with temperature, lighting, and everything to get the effect that you liked. I happened to like this effect. I thought it was kind of cool, and then I put it together. And very lastly, I did share it with I&H Hair on their Facebook page and also on Instagram, and they did comment back, which was really awesome. I thought it was pretty funny because on Facebook, I didn't really say that it was a self-portrait shoot, and a couple people were like, "Oh, you all look great," but it was all me. And I was like, can you not tell that I'm the same person? Maybe they think I'm like a quadruplet set of children. But it was kind of a nice flex to have, I would say, because that meant it was believable. And by the way, every time I do a self-portrait shoot, there is always something that I think could have been perfected or done better, but you live and you learn. But as a reminder, you're staring at it more than other people are. So you're never gonna see it with fresh eyes. Everybody who saw it loved it, and I'm the only one who can really see those flaws. Once I point them out, I'm sure people can see them too, or if somebody's being harshly critical. But it's all about a learning experience and having fun. And so overall, I would say this is a successful week. I plan on doing my self-portrait shoots weekly or as often as I can, just because I really enjoy them and I think it's fun. But if you would like to see more of the back-end stuff, the technicalities of it, please let me know. If you just enjoy seeing the final results, that's great too. I do share on my TikTok and Instagram, but my YouTube is a place where I can talk a little bit more about the journey of what it was like. So yeah, that was it. If you have questions, like I said, ask in the comments, and thanks for being here. I will be back here Wednesday with a new video. Have a great day.